Hello, and welcome to the False Prophets podcast. I'm Phil Risden.
It's your boy Manny.
And we have a lot of things to talk about. First off,
Yes.
China is revolting
Yes.
at the largest iPhone factory in either the country or the entire world. They
I
might
think
have
it's the
said.
entire world.
Right? Yeah.
Like, yo, what's crazy is that, like,
Shit's going down.
years of us hearing how fucked up China is.
Yeah.
I want to know what the fuck sparked this shit up.
Well, I think it's just constantly being beat down and treated like shit. Like,
Yeah.
weren't we talking about this before? Where it's just basically it's like they have dorms in the shit.
Yeah. And
Dude,
they
it's
have, I don't know
crazy.
if it's in India or it's China specifically, but they have like suicide nets.
Oh God.
Yeah, like motherfuckers try to like kill themselves, like,
Jesus.
and they're like no, and then they just bounce
Yeah.
back up and go back to the second floor and they land on their chair again.
Yeah.
It's that type of shit.
See,
Yeah.
that whole concept of all this shit is just like so fucking awful. The fact that they're revolting is so fucking awful.
Yeah.
You know, there needs to be better employment rights, like I think
Right.
in general across the world.
Of course.
But like, dude, I mean, it's getting bad. It's like if the Chinese don't want to work, you know
Yeah,
you did something
you know
wrong.
that's-
Okay.
And they know, they're like, yeah, we're getting fucking treated like shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we still make a dime.
Yeah.
But then something else, I'm like, after how many years, bro?
Yeah.
How many decades? Now they're like, oh yeah, this is like horrible
Yeah.
conditions.
Bro, those niggas like they come from a history of people. They built a wall out of
Yeah.
stone back when you had to carry that shit on your back.
Hell yeah, bro.
Okay, and
Hell yeah.
they're tired of iPhones. Okay,
Dude.
something's wrong with Apple. I think some questions need to be asked.
Apple is gonna be
You know?
some real shit after this.
Yeah, and I think you know what too.
Definitely.
You know what too though. It's about time that all these fucking companies stop outsourcing all their work simply because of like labor rights in other countries. If you want to outsource your work because you're like, oh, I want to build in India because it'd be cool to help the Indian people, sure, but not because you quietly want to take every second of free time that they have because they have no law that says that you can't do that there, but they do in America. Fuck you.
So you can save like 2 or 3 dimes or some shit.
Exactly.
That's what America does.
Well, no, they actually save a shit ton. Like
Yeah,
they,
you know.
they save like literally like $95. Like
Yeah, of course, of
Nike
course.
with the shoes and shit is like, what do they charge like for a shoe if you just buy retail? I think it's like $250.
Yeah.
Like per shoe, they save I think like $225 just by doing it there because you don't have to pay people for shit for anything of it. Like so it's wild, but. I think that's a big thing. We were talking about going to the fucking moon. We were talking about
right.
all sorts of shit. And I think a big thing about where humanity's going to go is through workers' rights. I think all people of all races are finally, maybe this will be the catalyst. The catalyst, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like all people just start, relying on each other and realizing that these larger companies, whether they're American, Chinese, Russian, or whatever, are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And they don't care about anybody.
Think about it. These worker laws, like, were made years fucking
Yes.
ago, and they have to be revised.
Yes.
And it's just like, bro, we're in like the 2000s, this is the 20th century,
Yeah.
right? And shit like that. So it's like, bro, like, we know that like children were even like hurt making certain devices
Yes.
or sneakers and stuff like that, lost limbs and everything.
Facts.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck caused this? Like it's just made no freaking sense to me because I'm just like, dude, this shit's been happening for years.
I know.
Mind you, we're still buying them J's.
Exactly.
We're still buying these
Exactly.
iPhones.
Exactly.
And then do we feel guilty? No.
I know.
No, but then
You
now
don't
watch
give a
this is
shit.
gonna be like, oh my gosh, revolution. Yeah, but you still got an iPhone in your pocket. Right
Exactly. So, like, what are we doing? I mean, both of us have iPhones
yeah,
right here, right now. Hey, you know what I mean?
Nextel. Remember that old brick ass Nextel?
yeah.
You could build a house with that shit.
That's
Nah,
for real,
man.
though. No, that's the fucking fact, though, man. And it's just like, it sucks because it's just like, number one, I think people need a lot more leisure in their free time,
Right.
like a lot more leisure in their life. Leisure in their free time means leisure in their leisure. That doesn't make sense. But the fact of the matter is, we need a lot more free time. They've looked at history books and all sorts of like history shit, and it shows that people in the past had so much more
Right.
free time and they still managed to build statues and fucking buildings and shit. What are we actually fucking doing? Especially, with minorities, all right? Because our parents work us to death.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Slavery still exists in America, and it is it is on the back of every Caribbean child. Who has to go out and fucking shovel snow, rake leaves, put clothes on the fucking line.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Pick some cassava and shit.
Yeah, like
You
it's
know
a
what I mean?
fact.
Like, goddamn.
So it's real, man. That shit is so fucked up. And one more question
No, go ahead.
before I, you go and do your thing. I want to know, like, How come workers' laws aren't international?
I was literally just about to say that.
I find that
I want to touch
crazy.
up on that because workers' laws here, it's crazy.
Yes.
It's really, really strict. We can sue for anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Yes.
And I think it's more of, obviously, you got these third world countries. You got these dudes that, like, they need to work. I have a friend in a third world country, and this dude constantly asks me for money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I try to help him as much as I can. But then when he started telling me about, like, the laws over there and everything, and it's just like, and the government isn't helping you? Yeah. They give him, you know what? The government gave him the equivalent of, like, 10 American dollars.
Yeah.
And then the only thing he was able to buy was, like, 2 days worth of dinner.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bro, it's crazy. And I'm not necessarily saying that things like, welfare, food stamps and all that shouldn't necessarily be international because number one, it's case by case. You don't know what's going on in each of these countries. But I think general workers' rights is a start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you work 8 hours, you deserve at least an hour break. And you shouldn't be able to, get questioned in America. And then, when you do, you leave and you go to Singapore and you can, do all that fucked up shit. You know what I mean? No breaks. They sleep there. They get paid pennies on the dollar. Like, maybe if in another country, they don't need to necessarily be paid as much as us or whatever, depending, what's relative. But it's just
the policy, the law.
But just the general policy. Yeah. Just not. It can't be slavery, dog. That's all we're asking, bro. Just not slavery.
That's literally a form of slavery.
Bro, you know what? Like, we need to. That could be the label for the movement. Fuck civil rights and all that shit. No, it's called the not slavery movement. Because that's the thing. And I think we could do it because it's just like every time people label shit, especially in America when it comes to like liberal things, they let white people take the reins of it. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is minority people are way better at marketing things, especially black people. You see it. I mean, we fucking, get people to check for everything, So, yeah, I say the not slavery movement is so much better.
Like, oh, this shit still exists movement?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of dumb shit like saying defund the police, like, oh, that's just actually for shock value. It's like, nigga, people are dying.
Exactly.
Fuck shock value.
Dude, it makes no sense that
like,
police officers have like military grade weapons.
Exactly.
Like, no, for that you call the military.
Yeah, I'll write that on a banner.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'll write that whole damn sentence.
Fuck that.
That shit. What are we talking about? You let these white niggas get in charge and they do shit like defund the police because they, anytime they're even looked at wrong, they're like, oh no. You know what I mean? Nah, we've been through it. So we got to illustrate it for you dumb rich motherfuckers and set the bar super low. That's why civil rights movement worked so well. Because it's like, that's a Michael Che joke, but it's like, it's in the word. We're just asking you to be civil.